Sairam, everyone. Just to recollect what we were discussing last week, we are on the first chapter of Sathya Sai Vahini. Swami started out talking about the supreme goal of the Bharatiyas. The last week discussion, we studied how the Sanatana Dharma, in spite of many setbacks caused by other faiths outside of the Bharat and also within Bharat, it was able to overcome after a brief setback or retreat, and it proclaimed to everyone the equality or the oneness of all faiths. And Swami says that our effort to love this Sanatana Dharma, this all-knowing, all-powerful Atman, that itself is its worship. I think that's where we stopped. I will stop here and I will ask sisters to continue from where we left off. Saira.
The Atmic principle of love. Developing faith in the Atma principle and loving it earnestly. This is the real worship. The Atma is the one and only loved one for humanity. Feel that it is more lovable than any object here or hereafter. That is the true adoration one can offer to God. This is what the Vedas teach. The Vedas do not teach acceptance of a bundle of frightfully hard rules and restrictions. They do not hold before one a prison house where one is shut in by the bars of cause and effect. They teach us that there is one who is the sovereign behind all those rules and restrictions, one who is the core of each object, each unit of energy, each particle or atom, one under whose orders alone the 5 elements, ether, air, fire, water, earth, do operate. Love him, adore him, worship him, say the Vedas. This is the grand philosophy of love, as established, as elaborated in the Vedas. The supreme secret is people must live in the world where they are born, like a lotus leaf, which, though born in water, floats upon it without being affected or wetted by it. Of course, it is good to love and adore God with a view to gain some valuable fruit, either here or hereafter. But since there is no fruit or object more valuable than God, or more worthwhile than God, the Vedas advise us to love God with no touch of desire in our minds. Love, since you must love for love's sake. Love God, since whatever he can give is less than he himself. Love him alone, with no other wish or demand. That is the supreme teaching of the Indians, Bharatiyas.
Thank you, Kalyani. Maybe Auntie, we will read the Telugu.
Yeah. Which paragraph it starts?
It starts, Auntie, with Atmane Manavunaku Ekaiga Priyudu, I think.
Yeah.
See, Aradinchuta, Chuta, Aradinchuta finishes.
Oh, I don't know. You just start reading. I'm not able to find out where it is. In the second page in Telugu?
I don't know, must be second page, auntie.
దేశమునందలి సర్వమతలు భారతీయ పరమార్థ వాహినికి
No, I think before that.
earlier. In Christ, Zoroaster, all these things come.
After that, Allakallola Mukinda, Anagina Pindapa, Marala Virj, all that, just
yeah.
past that.
Akarshan, yeah.
It is Sarvajnamaina.
It is Sarvagnamaina. It is Sarvagnamaina.
Next sentence, auntie.
Okay. Atmane Manavunaku Ekaika Priyudu.
The Atma is the one which loves the Manava, the mankind.
Only one loved. Iha Paramulandu Gala Sarvamu Kannanu ప్రియతర వస్తువుగా భావించుట అతన్ని ఆరాధించుటయే ఇది వేద ప్రబోధ. ఇహ పరములందుగల సర్వము.
So all that includes what is in this world and the other. Beyond that, what is dear, the dearest object, that's the way we should be considered. That is what is the teaching of the Veda. So Vedas are teach. I will rephrase what I said.
Yeah.
Swami says the teaching of the Vedas is that the prayer or worship of that principle, which is the most precious beyond what is found in this world as well as the other world.
వేదములు ప్రతిపాదించినది
what has been established by the Vedas.
నిష్ఠుర నియమముల యొక్క ఘోర సందోహము కాదు.
It is not the fearsome and harsh regulations and laws.
Can we say hard and fast rules?
Or hard and fast rules also.
That, yeah.
Nishtura, I thought it's very harsh.
Hard and fast.
Yes, hard and fast.
The rules are hard and fast.
And Swami has used two words. Swami has used, one is Nishtura, the other one is Ghora Sandoham.
Ghora Sandoham. It is not a combination of.
It is not fearsome and very restrictive rules and regulations. Those are not the teachings of the Vedas.
కార్యకారణ రూపమైన కారాగారము కాదు.
It is not the prison of cause and effect.
ఈ నియమములకన్నిటికీ ప్రభువైన
For the Lord of all these regulations,
భౌతిక పదార్థములలోని
what is in the worldly objects,
భౌతిక శక్తులలోని
the worldly powers,
ప్రతి అణువునందును
in every atom,
నిలిచి దీపించుచుండువాడు ఒక్కడు కలదని,
one who is present in each of this and also making them blossom and emit
అతని ఆజ్ఞ వలననే పంచభూతములు తమ తమ పనులు చేయుచున్నవనియు,
because of his command that the 5 elements are functioning, they are doing their functions.
ప్రతిపాదించును.
It is establishing, it is taught.
ఇదియే వేదములందు ప్రతిపాదించిన ప్రేమ సిద్ధాంతము.
This is the principle of philosophy of love which has been established by the Vedas.
నీటియందు ఉద్భవించియు,
what is born in the water,
నీటి చేత తడియక ఉండు తామరాకు,
the leaf of the lotus which is not wet by it,
తామరాకు వలె మానవుడు ఈ లోకమున జీవింపవలెను.
human beings have to live in this world in the same manner.
అని పరమార్థము.
That is the supreme, the inner significance.
ఇహముననో పరముననో
in this world and the other world,
ప్రతిఫలం అపేక్షించి
desiring certain results and fruits,
భగవంతుని ప్రేమించుట మంచిదే కానీ
Pray,
to love God.
loving the Lord is good, but
ఇంతకంటే ప్రియమైన వస్తువు మరొకటి
there is no other object which is much more dear than this.
లేకపోవటచే దీనిని నిష్కామ ప్రేమగా ప్రేమించుట శ్రేష్టము.
When that happens, when there is nothing else dearer than the Lord, that is the love of not desiring, having no desires.
శ్రేష్టమని కూడా దీని అంతరార్థము.
That is supreme. That's also an inner meaning of this teaching.
అనగా భగవంతుని ప్రేమించుటకే ప్రేమను కలిగి ఉన్నానని భావించుట భారతీయ పరమార్థము.
The supreme goal or inner significance of the Bharatiyas is that this is the purpose of love itself. Is the love has been granted to us only to love God.
Next sentence is also, isn't? No.
I don't know whether they have.
No, this one.
That's all, Auntie.
Love him alone, love no other wish.
Yes. Yeah.
I think we should stop.
I think we should stop, Auntie. Yes. So Swami is teaching us, he made the statement that we should love God. And now he is enumerating how we should love that God and how we should consider him, how we should visualize him, and how we should experience. I think that's what Swami has covered. So I will stop here. And anyone who would like to share, please go ahead.
Sorry, Uncle. The first line, does it mean the Atma is the only one love of mankind?
Ekaika means that alone is, that type of meaning. It's an one, but it's much more. That alone is. Sorry, Auntie, that type of meaning.
One and only. One and only. Ekaika. One and only.
So Swami is saying only God is the one and only dear one for human beings. Yes, anyone would like to share any thought? Please go ahead.
ఆత్మనే మానవులకు ఏకైక ప్రియుడు.
So that the next line basically says he is the dearest in this world as well as the other world also.
Yeah.
And that is the teaching of the Vedas.
So the Vedas are teaching to worship that.
To consider that bhavinchuta means we should consider God as the supreme or most dear one, whether in this world or in the next world, loving him so that we should worship him. That's the teaching of the Vedas.
Brother, just what is the next world kind of Swami is mentioning here? Just which one it was referred here, please?
Swami has used the word other world.
Yeah, other world, yeah.
This world and the other world. That means whatever world which we don't know of.
Yes, other world could be anything. Moksha, anything. What is that? What is this really?
Okay, I will ask others to share.
Okay.
Anyone who knows or considers what the other world means.
Generally, when we say ihaloka paraloka, ihaloka means this world where we are living. Paraloka, we don't know where we are going to Swargaloka or Narkaloka or Satyaloka or Brahmaloka. There are so many. Supposed to be, there are so many, according to our punya and papa, we reach those places. Or the next janma also it can mean. Next birth also it can mean.
Yeah, thank you, Auntie. Thank you.
Saira.
So anyone else would like to?
Thank
Sister,
you.
after we die, wherever we go.
Okay.
I think that's meant, as Auntie said, it can be next birth, it can be another world. We don't know. We don't know where it is. And the world, unknown world into which we will be traveling after we drop the
Yeah.
body which we have today. Because what happens is, in almost every religion,
Yeah.
people say you will go to heaven. Some people are worried about going to hell. So I think, so we don't know. But what the Vedas are teaching, even in the heaven, you don't even need the heaven, because you can't even find anything much more dearer than God, even in heaven. I think that's the way to understand. Is my view, but I'll stop here.
So you don't get afraid of anything. If you realize I'm just thinking of other world. If you love only that, then you have nothing to carry with you. So just yourself. So it's always, wherever it is, you are be happy, I think, content. If you have that kind of understanding, if you love only that. That's okay. Thank you.
No, here the sentence Swami is saying, Iha paramulandugala sarvamukannanu. You may be enjoying in this world or in the other world, any type of pleasures, but everything, nothing compared to the love of God. Priyatara vastuga bhavinchuta. Of course, you may priyatara vastuga bhavinchuta adanni aradhuchi idi Veda prabodham. Vedas say, whether here or in the other world, wherever you go, maybe it is your better world or your better pleasures, you may be, but everything else is nothing compared to the worshipping of the Lord. The pleasures and the desires, whatever you have, is nothing when compared to the love of God. That is the worshipping of God itself.
I am brother. So here we're talking about Atma, and then we kind of switching to God. So here we talking about the formless God. So because Hinduism or many other religions, if you think about, they have form, only few are formless. Even I think Zoroastrian, they do fire, prayers to fire, right? So here we are talking about love, adore, and worship that formless God. For the energy or whatever we can say Atma.
Okay, so it's a question. So Shishwan is asking, is it worshipping the formless? That's a question. Anyone would like to?
Brother Sairam, my understanding about formless is you see everything, it's in everything, the law. So whatever it is. So there's no particular form. That's how I interpret the formless. Thank you, Sairam.
Okay, thank you, sister. Just to, I think the second or third sentence in the Sathya Sai Vahini, Swami says, all the Bharatiyas know that the Atman is present everywhere. Everywhere, Atma is present. So whether in this world or the next world, with form or without form, even in the forms, he is present. It's the way Swami has actually, if you go back and read, I think we can understand. And Swami says this is taught by the Vedas, the Shastras, and the people who have experienced. Because they have experienced the Lord in every form, in every tree, in every stone. They were able to experience. Were they experiencing the formless or the formful? I think they experience both as divine. Is what Swami said. I will stop here. I think Auntie.
The previous sentence Do you want me to read that one?
Yes, Auntie.
Sarva iti sarvagnamaina sarvashaktivantamaina atma tattvamunu paramartha stitini preminchute atanini aradinchuta. So that is very clearly saying that Sarvagna, Sarvashakti, Saktiman, that Atma Tattva. That Atma Tattva, to love and adore that Atma Tattva is like worshipping the Lord.
Okay.
See, sometimes, for example, if people who like tea or coffee or whatever, we drink and people are happy that, we drank something very nice. Some people say it was very sweet. But is the sweet outside the tea or inside the tea? Of course, we tasted something which is present within the tea and it makes the tea nice. So that which makes the tea nice is the Lord. And he is the tea. So, and does he have form? Yes. The sweetness has something beyond the form of tea also. I think this is something which we studied in Gita Vahini also, because Swami talks about the creation is the swabhava of the Lord. The expression of the Lord itself is creation. But we should see creation as an expression of the Lord, whose swarupa is formless. I think that's what, I don't know, Kalyani, you can, is that Gita Vahini? I think we discussed a couple of times that. So the creation is not separate from the form of the Lord. After all, it's nothing but an expression. He has worn it as his garb, or, the cloth which he wears. Also, I think we have studied that in both Sandhya Nivarani as well as Gita Vahini. Let's stop.
Brother Sairam, just a thinking, okay? Because there's no particular form, right? That's the reason we are saying formless, kind of, we can say. Can we say that? Because there's no particular form. That's a formless, kind of. Just, I'm thinking to myself.
It also, anyway, it's a little, I think not here, but Swami has said, the Lord will take any form which the devotee likes and bless them. So all forms are, after all, our own creation of the way we see it. And the Lord the God who is formless will take the form which the devotee desires and bless them. So the only way we can experience is with sakshatkara, or in front of our eyes. That's the only way we can experience. So the Lord, who is unapproachable through anything, any senses, makes himself accessible to us through form. Anyway, I think that's, yes, Brother Tasan, please go ahead.
Yes, Saram, brother. That's what we studied before. We can pray form or without formless. The Prakriti is the body of the Lord. So we can take any object. The Atmic principle is there. If we take animal or human being or non-movable, so inside Atma is same. So either we can pray particular object, the person who go into the deep, then that person will pray the inside the Atma, that formless.
Yes.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Even in here also, Swami has said the same thing. ఈ నియమముల కన్నింటికి ప్రభువైన భౌతిక పదార్థములోని భౌతిక శక్తిలోని ప్రతి అణువులందు నిలిచి దీపించు. That God is present in every atom, in every object in this world, in every power that we witness in this world. In all of them, He is present. is verily present, and hidipinchu chundu means he makes them come alive. They make them alive and lighted, I think, effulgent, and that is God. So every object, if it is there, it is only there because God is making it present, making it come together. Very nicely, Swami has explained. If you go to the second paragraph,
Yeah.
one who is sovereign behind all these rules and restrictions, one who is the core of each object, each unit of energy, each particle or atom. And so every element which we see is actually functioning at his order, at his command.
ఈ నియమములకన్నింటికి ప్రభు అయిన వాడు ఒకడు కలడు. దట్ సెంటెన్స్ we should join this word there.
Yes.
ప్రభు అయిన వాడు ఒకడు కలదని భౌతిక పదార్థంలోని భౌతిక శక్తిలోని ప్రతి అణువునందును నిలిచి నిపించువాడు.
So it's this description of that Lord who is the one who is overlord of all these rules.
When Swami is saying that you should only love, this love has been granted to us only to love God.
Yes.
So I guess in our day-to-day life, like, how do we know we're loving the God aspect of whatever we're interacting with?
Thank you, Kalyani, for the question. Anyone who would like to answer, because Swami has said the love itself has been given for only loving God. So how do we know that we are loving that Lord in our day-to-day life when we go about?
I was about to ask a question, actually, how we can love wicked people. It's very hard. So I think this is an answer. When we love those people, it means we are loving. If we can love, people we can't see, it's hard to see God in them. They're so, they're not good people. So I think seeing God in them is how we can test, yes, we are seeing God in them, in everybody.
In a wicked person, Atma is not wicked.
I know.
Not wicked. So you're loving that pure Atma. That wicked person's qualities are Jiva's qualities. Whatever he has accumulated in his past and his present life. So he behaves according to that. But the pure Atma which resides in him is not affected by his wickedness. So when you love a wicked person, you are loving that Atma in him, not the person as he is.
Right. It's just sometimes, when you see it takes flip few seconds to remind you, oh no, it's not the person, it's the Atma you're loving.
It is true, so true, Bhavani. It's true.
Yes, Auntie Sakhu, please go ahead. Auntie Sakhu, I think you have to unmute and speak if you want to. So Kalyani, I think Sister Shivani has answered the question, looks like. But yes, Auntie Sakhu, please go ahead.
Yeah, Shivani asked a question about how do you know that you are loving God?
You are seeing Shivani and Kalyani, Auntie.
Oh, both of them are, sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm
The question is actually Kalyani.
The Atma asked, Auntie.
Okay. Our Atma's true nature is to love. If you go by your body consciousness, then you will be having all kinds of attachments. The husband, children, father, mother, all those relationships. But if you truly connect with God, with your Atma, you will start loving God No matter, you will have no wish, no demand. You will love him for love's sake. And that means you feel happy. You feel happy that you are loving someone who is so precious in this world. You will feel happier than loving your other relationship, because your other relationship can give you sorrow too. But God's love will never give you sorrow.
So, Auntie, Sister Shivani's question, I think you're trying to answer. Her question is, do you love bad people also like that?
Oh, definitely, God will love back. He will always love his
No, no.
children.
Whether we will love bad people. How can we love bad people? Because I think the question is, Swami says, see God and love him in everything, everything you see. So if that is so, we have to love. God is anyway loving.
Yeah, there
But-
also you should not use your body consciousness, then you will not like anybody who is hurting you. But love their soul, love the Atma within each and every object that God has created. Then you will not have any kind of negative feeling in you.
Thank
God
you.
will definitely, even if we do wrong things, God will love us. We go astray, he will bring us back. That is him. That is God.
Okay, thank you, Auntie. Thank you. So, Kalyani, the answer to the question is, how will we know when we love even people whom we may consider as bad? And I think that's the biggest challenge. But then, are we able to? One thing is to say, how are we to do that? How should we treat a person who is bad? I think we should all of us have said, it's very easy to say, oh, we love the Atman, but how can we practically do it? If anyone has something to say. Yes, Brother Dasan.
So, Sai Ram, brother. So, Atma is everywhere, even that bad person to say Atma, because his thinking and his mind is different. But we don't want to hate the person. We can avoid because we cannot deal with those kind of people, but we can pray for him. To how to express, how we can experience the love is, for an example, if you are fond of the Lord Bhagawan, then you're going to think about his glory, and without knowing you, the tears will come out. That you cannot express why this unconditional love, you cannot express that kind of situation. Only we can express the love. Thank you, Saira.
Sairam, brother. Thank you. Yes, Sister Shivani.
Sorry, I forgot the question. The question was how we can love people in practical way, right?
Yes, sister. Because
Okay.
actually, I asked your own question. I asked.
yes. Now I'm thinking. You know what? That's what I was asking, Auntie. It might take flip seconds, and that's what happens with me. I mean, I keep reminding myself, hey, just see Atma in everybody. But it takes time. It used to take 24 hours, now reduced to maybe a couple minutes, couple seconds to kind of remind, hey, forget it. So what I just believe is just we can, dislike people's action, but not people. I think it's Mahatma Gandhi has said, and that's me all the time.
Correct.
Deal with the action of people, because then you are able to see the Atma in them, because then second moment you are friendly. And that's what sometimes my kids will say, oh my God, Mom, you're so hypocrite. You were just upset with us and then now you're fine with us. I said, because I was dealing with your action, not with you. So I guess
So sister, how do you deal with action?
if the action is unpleasant, whatever, so I will put my opinion, because my challenge was before is if I see Atma and God, then anything wrong, in my view, as you said, very well defined, which we perceive is wrong, then we can't correct that because everything is fine. God is doing it, so I accept it. But so
How would you okay, how would you accept? How would you accept it?
So what I see is I'm accepting the person, but maybe not the action.
So for example, I will just give a, just so that we understand what you're saying. See, you see one child hitting another child.
Yes.
So will you sit there and say, oh, see, one Atman is hitting the other Atman, it's all Leela?
According to this scripture, yes, we should see that way, but because at the physical level, there is, we are in a society, we have some social sense, civil sense, right? So good and bad is there. So you definitely have to look into what is good, what is bad, use your power of discrimination. But at the Atman level, at the very core, there is no distinction. And that
so I think you love. So what are you to do with this in this situation?
Incidents where when one child is hitting the other person, definitely you tell the child what is wrong and right. Okay. But if the child continues, that's their karma, it's not my karma.
Okay, thank you, sister. Thank you. Yes, Auntie Saku.
Sairam, you have taught us, you have advised us. Sometimes we might misunderstand that people
Sister, auntie, you should not take my advice.
Okay.
Okay.
You quoted Baba. Okay.
That's better.
What I'm saying is sometimes we may think that people are doing something wrong to us, but we may, if we sit and think, sometimes we can misunderstand whatever they are doing. So it is up to us also to have a kind of a analyzation within ourselves whether we are doing why that person is doing. Maybe there's something wrong. Either the way we are thinking, or they might be doing for their own thinking of righteousness. We may think that is wrong. So we have to calm down and just try to understand, because sometimes we may make mistakes of understanding somebody negatively. So we can also have to correct ourselves.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Thank you. Yes, Sai Satish, please go ahead.
Ramana. So to Sister Kalyani's question as to how do we go about loving God in day-to-day life, if that is what I'm sensing, then I'm trying to see that what we prioritize, we remember, and what we remember, we definitely put into action. So for a mother, irrespective of whatever she's doing, she always has the priority of taking care of her child. And so independent of what the circumstances are, we will at any point in time prioritize that. So in the back of our day-to-day life, it is, am I able to have Swami as my number one priority in terms of whatever Swami likes or whatever Swami has for us to do. If I have that as a priority, then definitely in terms of remembering, it helps. And when we remember, the more frequently we remember, the more we put into practice. So it is that Nididhyasana part. It is Shravanam, Mananam is there. But I think even as Shravanam, Mananam happens, I think the Nididhyasana of putting into practice comes when the Shravanam and Mananam becomes continuous, which helps. It is constant reinforcing. And Swami would always say, eating practice, walking practice, writing practice, everything came out of practice. So how do we go about loving God? we remember, we prioritize that to love everybody. It's not like, okay, I put it as a rule and then I do it, but I sincerely make it a part of my daily activities. Come whatever it, yeah, I do it, I may fail, but again, I continue to do it with the same thing, that this is what Swami loves. So I will have to get it right. And one day we will get that right. And the other aspect is the child hitting another child. Like if we take the thing of what Hanuman said, Deha buddhya sudasoham, jiva buddhya tavevaham, and atma buddhya, it is tvamevaham. So in terms of that, I think we go about life with what we need to do. At the physical level, yes, we are bound by our whatever dharma it entails. We act upon it, we think upon it, but always established in the fundamental thing that everything is the divine will, and we accept it both ways, not only when good things happen, but also accept it even when bad things happen. So it's a complete package deal, and then go with that feeling. So the acceptance stays at the core, and the performance of actions happen with the acceptance of that supreme will. Saira.
Thank you, Sai Satish. Thank you. Yes, Sister Aruna.
Ram, brother, it's for the question of like, how we can love everyone, even sometimes if you don't like a person, right? For that, you can try and explain. If they don't understand, just one easy step, move on.
Yeah. I also wanted to
Move on.
because with our little knowledge, whatever
Yeah, that's in Swami's hand, kind of.
Arun has got a better idea of how dealing with, if he can share it with us.
Also, so sister, you said move on. You will forget them and move on, or what will you do?
No, we try our best first. If doesn't work, then it's no point in wasting time. That's a advice I got it before. So it's a time to move on.
Yeah.
Leave it with the Lord and you move on. Maybe one point of time they will realize.
Yeah, so you leave it with the Lord, you said.
Yes.
So how do you leave it with the Lord? Means when we say we leave it with the Lord, how do we just say, Swami, you take care of him and you move on, or what do we do?
Yes, brother. At that time, I would say, but he didn't understand. I tried my best, Swami. Now it's in your hand, and I will leave it to Swami, and I will move on.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
I don't have any better idea, but anyway, okay. Yes, Sister Anandi, please.
Sai Ram,
Yes.
the how to see divinity in others, and even if you don't like that person, how to handle that situation or something. That's the one I got it from the discussion.
Yes, sister.
The most of the time, we always think that we are in the good side, other person it's in the bad side. That is most of our opinion. But we never think either they are in the good side, we are in the not good side or the negative side. We always put us in the very higher level and look at others in the lower level or in the below us. That is the maybe normal human tendency. And back 20 years back, I have had an experience at my office. Someone, maybe one of the staff told something, maybe other person, maybe superior, maybe the higher level person didn't understand what does that mean. Or so the superior was yelling at maybe the new staff. You don't know how to talk. You don't know what to say. I don't understand what you are telling me. What you are trying to tell me. and the other one, maybe the very, maybe the higher level, just came accidentally, and he put that, why can't you have a little bit of patience and try to understand what that person is trying to tell you, and why you are blaming that person because of your drawback. You don't understand, or you don't know how to handle that situation. So from the day onwards, I always thought, I always think that, even before we blame or before we assess, we have to, get out of that, even, myself and another person, if it is quarreling or something, maybe you just, come back and, and think about, if you are a third person, what would be your reaction, and in most of the time, I would say that, the more than 50% could be our side also mistake, that's why maybe the Sakwa auntie also said that, a little bit of patience and the tolerance, maybe a compassion. Swami said, always forget what the others did for you, harm things, forgive what others did, whatever the harmful things to you, and forget whatever the good things you have done it for the others. Because sometimes why the quarreling or misunderstanding comes, I have done so many good things for this person doesn't do anything for me. And maybe if we understand the Swami's principle, I believe in the most of the times we can, uh, we can better understand, and it wouldn't affect your mental thoughts, and you wouldn't be stressing out for little things. I believe that's my humble opinion. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sister. Thank you. I think sister used a nice word called compassion. See, even if somebody is doing bad, they are ignorant, as Sakwanti was telling. They may not know, and sometimes we also don't know whether it's their ignorance or our ignorance in both cases. So I think compassion is a very safe route. Because generally, if somebody has done some harm to us, we may curse them, let them suffer the consequences. It's a sense of revenge sometimes. But the ideal way to say is, oh Swami, grant them some sadbuddhi, let them also become better than where they are today. And if we can look at it that way, it's like, our own people, our own child or something like that, we will pray, let them become good. We will never want something bad to happen. We'll say, let something happen, let them be corrected. So I think it's ultimately considering the entire world as an extension of us, as something which is related to us, because we are related to God. God is related to them. So ultimately, whether we like it or not, they are also part of us. Swami uses the word, if one of your limb is bad shape, it's causing so much pain for you. You don't get angry with it. Swami uses the word, the tongue and the teeth. I don't know whether we discussed. Yes. Swami says, if the tongue got bitten by the teeth, we don't beat up the teeth. We don't beat up the tongue. We don't tell the tongue, you should have been careful, We don't yell at this tongue. We don't get upset with the teeth, because they are all part of us. But I think that attitude, if we can cultivate, I think that's the best way we can know that we are. So we should not wish anyone ill.
Yeah.
If you do that, that's because of compassion we will have for everyone, even they are bad, even if they're making mistakes. I think that's answers came out. Auntie, I didn't have anything. Everyone shared their thoughts, and
Can I add one more?
Yes, Auntie, please go ahead.
The wickedness or the bad things which we find in others is only a reflection of my own wickedness. Yeah. If the onus is on me to correct that attitude. I think that's the better way of dealing with others.
Very good, Ami. Thank you.
Yeah, it's only my own anger, my own bad qualities. Swami always says it's a reflection. What you have, you're in a heart. It's being reflected by the other person. So if we can understand that from that point of view, I think I should correct myself, not the other person. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. Thank you very much.
Brother, if I see a child slapping another child
Yes.
in that situation,
Yes.
let it be.
What to do? You're asking, sister?
Yeah.
You have to use what Swami has given 4 techniques: Sama, Dana, Danda, Veda. Okay, you can use any of these, but when you use these techniques, your heart should not hate the child.
Yeah.
The intention should be to correct, so that that child is also better. And I think, Swami, these tools are available, but when we use it, we should use it with love. And Swami is the best example of that. He knows how to do it.
Okay.
Thank you.
His best way is to keep without talking to anybody. Absolute silence.
Sai Ram, Sister Shivani, I hope next time you can apply Danda also with love.
No, that's right. That's what I was saying, that,
Yes.
with love, but...
That's what, that's what the police, law enforcement is just that.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you,
Brother Thasan.
Yes, Sai Ram, brother. If we take the Mahabharata, Duryodhana was against the Pancha-Pandava. So the final thing is, if he doesn't listen, the Danda is the right solution. Thank you, Sai Ram.
With love. Because, Arjuna was told, Adveshta Sarva Bhutana. Don't hate anyone, but fight. That was Sai Ram, brother. Thank you. It's all we are actually revising Gita Vahini only, All these have been already discussed and studied. This is just revision. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. I think we had a good discussion. If everyone is okay, I think we have covered almost all of them. So basically, the Lord is in everything because of that. And I think also once you love God, no bad thing should actually, if we love such, become so good, nothing bad should happen around us also. There are always stories of, when the rishis are present, even tigers and lions, they become calm. They don't attack, they praise also apparently. So that is the impact of love. If we have love around us, no bad thing will happen. And that's why Auntie said, it sometimes is our own reflection that we see, because those situations get attracted to us and we become spectators, which basically magnify something which is in us, so we can see it for very clearly. I think that's the way the world is. Thank you.
Based on what you said like that, so say your child you have to discipline your child, but at the same time, their reaction is something maybe from you. So is it a balance between doing the outward discipline, but also working on yourself?
I think, Kalyan, that's my understanding. That's the practice which Sai Satish was talking about, I think. We have to practice, it's balancing the inner self and the external active action. If we can keep both of them under, be aware of both of them, then we are fine, I think. Because the emotion should not take the best of us. Because once they take over, become their slaves. So the inner self should not fall prey to the emotions, negative emotions. But externally, we have to do whatever is needed, whatever the situation demands, in the most compassionate way. That's why even if the policeman is arresting someone, they are not supposed to be violent. Okay, that's expectation.
We still have to do that process of that external physical process, like if it's your child, for example, and you just constantly blame yourself for what's going on, then I guess You do still have to, I don't know, I'm just trying to figure that part out.
You are talking about guilt.
Guilt.
See, if we have done whatever is there, we should leave the rest to God, as Sister Aruna and said, we will give it and move on. But in a child's case, you cannot move on. But we can move on from that situation. The mind should not dwell on it. Mind should not dwell on it. But I think if we have done everything right according to our conscience, I think we should not dwell on. We should not be guilty. I think that's my personal view, because that's also a form of harming ourselves. To be guilty for no reason, taking on too much on our own shoulders. I think that's my understanding, but I may be wrong. But it's okay.
How do you say that, like the tongue and the cheek example, Swami says, the tongue and the teeth, that we should realize that, oh, it's a problem with ourselves and correct ourselves. So, but how do you do that without blaming yourself then?
Very good, actually. Very good. I will ask others, rather than see, for example, we found that we made a mistake because of that certain things has happened. So how do we, should we feel guilty, or what should we do in a situation like that? We have made, I think Sakwandi said, sometimes we also make mistakes. Swami support. So how, maybe I should ask her, what will you do if you, Saira, go with Satish, Saira.
Ramana, I was just going to say that I think we talk about kindness and compassion to everybody out there, but first is we should be kind and compassionate to ourselves. And in terms of, we cannot carry all the baggage. And when Swami says less luggage, more comfort makes travel a pleasure, it's truly all of that, because many times our own inability to do at certain point the right thing, which we feel is the absolute right thing, also becomes a baggage that we carry forward. And in Sanskrit, there is a Subhashita which says, Atmaiva Atmano Bandhuhu Atmaiva Ripuratmana. So in terms of one's own Atma is the friend, and one's own Atma can become an enemy. Enemy in the sense not making an enemy of the Atma, but in terms of our own thought process, which is aligned with the Atman, gives us a sense of freedom or liberation, and once being in conflict with that principle is what is bondage or guilt or of that kind. So I'm just trying to say that when we encounter such a situation, even putting that back into Swami, saying that Swami, because ultimately we say Sarva Karma Bhagavat Prityartham, whatever we do is for the love of God. So even putting it back to Swami's feet, saying, Swami, under the present circumstances, I'm only able to do this. And as a loving mother, you know that you will accept whatever I'm doing, even with this feeling, and I put it at your lotus feet and carry forward with the other thing. I think that is what, because I think dwelling on a particular thing is what causes the feeling of guilt, and what happens is the feeling of guilt only amplifies, and it's like the law of attraction, like attracts like kind of a thing. So more we think of it, more we dwell of it, the deeper it or heavier it gets. So it's about offering that also to Swami and praying for Swami's guidance on that, and not dwelling too much on it.
Thank you very much, Sai Satish. Thank you. Sorry, Auntie Saku, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going along with Sai Satish. That is, if we start practicing every thought, word, and deed offer to God, and at a situation where two kids are involved, and you have a responsibility to deal with it, you just offer to Swami, Swami, you be in my thought, word, and deed. Whatever the way you want me to handle this situation, you do it. And if you do that nishkama karma, you will not carry a baggage with you. You won't carry a guilt feeling, because you know Bhagavan has come through you and settled the situation, handled the situation, and you are happy. And that guilt feeling should not come if you have asked God to be the master of your thought, word, and deed. This is what we have learned, and you can start practicing. That is the best way. When you do that, actually you become more peaceful. You will not have kind of negative feeling or a burden that you think that you're carrying a burden. No. Sairam, this is what I am practicing. That's what I feel much calmer now.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Thank you. Yes, Sister Shivani, please go ahead.
Hello, Sairam. I think when we read Sathya Vahini or why, I asked the same question. I was taking upon myself as a mom, as a parent. It's our responsibility. What should we do? And you don't see some behavior. Kids are exhibiting what you believe. It's very spiritual. And I think in that and guilt, what I have learned is it's basically a barrier in your own spiritual progress. So the guilt is not a question at all, or anything you doubt yourself doesn't help you to move forward or progress within. But in terms of the kids and discussion, which really helped me, I think it was 4 years ago, and I'm at peace. We can do so much, and the kids come with their own baggage. Kids have their own karma, nishka, So we have to kind of keep that in mind as well. They have their own journey too, but we can do so much. So what exactly, if I sum up what Sai Satish and Auntie has said, before, if I have to approach my kids, I just sit in front of Swami's altar and I'll say, whatever you want me to say, let those words come out. And then I approach them. Basically, especially with kids, this is what I do. And then I said, okay, he gave me, and then he has to. But keeping in mind, they're coming with their own baggage. Saira.
Thank you very much, sister. Thank you. Anyone else? There are many people who have brought up their children, so I think there must be lots of wisdom here to share. So no one is. So in the absence of anyone, yes, I think Kalyani, the thing is, even if we find that we have made a mistake, as Sai Satish said, we should be compassionate and understanding of our own limitations and ask Swami's guidance. And with that, I think we should, I think you remember, Swami said, never say sorry, don't ask for pardon. But if you found that you did something wrong, just realize that, be determined not to repeat it, and then move on. And seek Swami's help and guidance, and he'll be with us to guide us along our journey. And I think sometimes the problem is, I think we are very unrealistic of our own growth as well as our children and others' growth also. Because sometimes we want something to happen very soon. Sometimes it takes time, and we don't know how much time it will take and how long, whether it's days, months, years, decades, lifetimes, or even ages, yugas, because the journey is all like that. But we should all have the faith that Swami is in charge. He is guiding and helping everyone. If there's something for us to do along the way, we can do, and leave the rest to him, because he is guiding everyone across many lifetimes. That's what I would say. So be compassionate with ourselves. If we are hard with ourselves, we will be hard with others. If we are not compassionate with us, we will be not compassionate with others. I think that's my personal experience also. So Swami says, we have to be like the lotus leaf. Though born in water, it's not affected or wetted by it. We should live in this world like that. Saira.
The first line where Swami saying, Atma is the one and only love.
Ekaika Priyudu.
So does that mean anything that we love, that we feel we love, we're actually loving the Atman?
Okay, very nice question. So Kalyani is asking, the first statement, we are going back to the first statement today, which is, God alone is one and only, as Auntie has said, one and only dear one in this world. So if that is so, if we love anyone, are we really loving God? I think that's the question from Kalyani. Can we take that we are loving God? I think 2 questions. I will make it 2 questions. Are we loving God? Or should we consider it as loving God? Anyone?
I cannot understand what you're.
Okay, Auntie, if you love someone, does it mean that you are loving God or loving that person? That's the question. Oh, Kalyani, yeah. So if we love so many people in our life, we'll forget the ones we don't like or dislike, but we love some people. Does it mean that we are loving God? Yes, Brother Dasan.
Yeah, Sairam brother. If we love someone, if the body level, that is not the Atma. You have to love the Atma. That is the only one absolute. The rest all not permanent. So we have to love the God. That is the real love. Once you look at the person inside the Atma, the same Atma, then that is nothing going to be near to that one. Any object. That is my understanding, brother. Thank you.
Thank you very much, brother. Yes, Sister Aruna.
Sairam, brother. We say love is God, right? So any form of love that you are sharing, that is an embodiment of love. That is, you are really loving the Lord. So if you have that, only that the love also will come out. If you're within yourself, as Brother earlier said, if you have a compassionate with you only, it will come out too. So that is within you is Atma, right? So when you love yourself, you will share that like that. So the love you are showing to others is like you're loving the God. That's how I look at it. Thank you, Saira.
Sairam, sisters. Yes, Auntie Saku.
Loving anyone without expectation, that can be equal to God, you are loving God without any expectation. But when you have a worldly relationship, we are most of the time we try to expect. But if at all you can love somebody without any kind of expectation, then that can be equal to you loving God. Thank you. That's what I think.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Anyone else want to share? All the loving people have spoken. So, what about the others?
You are funny. Thank you.
So, Kalyani, I think Swami has, maybe I will go. Swami has nicely explained. All of us have love, actually, which is coming from the Atman only.
Yes.
Within us. And actually, it's flowing towards the Atman outside also. Like if we take a child loves without any reason, even without a sense of attachment. It doesn't even know it that person is mine or my mother. I'm talking about an infant. Doesn't know. So Swami says all of us have love from us actually flowing towards Atman in the other persons. But the problem is that love is like a rose, Swami says. And unfortunately, a thorn is close by, which is attachment. Once the attachment comes, it is the rose itself is limited. The love itself is limited. And then we identify with the world, at the body level. And because of that, we run into problems. Swami says. So the trick is to take the rose without being scratched by the thorn. So in the realities in anything, for example, even a mother, when they love a child, they first love the child because it's a child. But then the thought, oh, it's my child comes. then once that comes, attachment takes over. But all of us actually, in the initial step in every piece of anyone loving anybody else is actually it's flowing from the Atman to the Atman. But because of our attachment, because of sense of I, it belongs to me, then it becomes spoilt, something which poisons that love or that makes it imperfect. So that's why Swami says, when Swami says Prema Swarupalara, he is addressing ourselves, our ability to love. And he recognizes that. And when Swami looks at everyone and talks, actually he's looking at the Atman, and that's how he's able to love everyone, irrespective of all the faults, all the defects. Anyone who comes to him, he's willing to accept them and do everything possible. So I think, yes, actually it is just that we have to be careful that the attachment doesn't spoil the love which naturally will flow from our heart to anyone and everyone in this world. I hope that answers your question. This is Prema Vahini. I think it's a revision of Prema Vahini. I am not, I hope Auntie Sakku doesn't say, Brother Aruna advised us or something like
Oh,
that.
sorry.
So,
No, but whatever you are discussing, it's the
no, yeah, we actually studied this in Prema Vahini. If you
yeah.
go back and read, it is there. Okay, so I don't.
But loving somebody heart to heart, I mean, Anma, from soul to soul, it cannot last long when it becomes turned into attachment, demands. The older parents may expect the children to look after them. Like these expectations come in. So it's very difficult. The best thing, never expect. Do your duty, love your children without any expectation. Then that is equivalent to your praying to God, your love to God. No expectation, no demands, no attachments.
Then who will look after you, Auntie?
Oh, we are taking care of ourselves. God is taking care of us.
Okay, Auntie.
That's
You.
enough. That's enough.
So you are the best caretaker.
Beg your pardon?
You have the best caretaker.
Yeah, God is the best caretaker. You just pray to Him.
Yes.
You know how smoothly He can do things.
Thank you, Auntie. Thank you. So Auntie has at last told Ekaika Priyudu. Kalyani, that you asked about that line. Auntie Sakku has given practical example of that.
Yeah, I'm speaking through my own experiences.
Thank you, Auntie. Thank you very much.
80 years is speaking.
So if everyone is okay, should we move on?
I think so.
Yes.
Auntie Bashya must got tired. Wow.
She has to patiently, compassionately wait.
I know. Wow.
Okay.
Divine love. Dharmaja, the eldest of the Pandava brothers, as depicted in the Mahabharata, is the ideal of this type of lover. When he lost his vast empire, which included all India, to his enemies, he had perforce to live in caves among the Himalayan ranges with his consort Draupadi. She asked him one day, Lord, you are undoubtedly the topmost among those who follow the path of dharma unwaveringly. How did such a terrible calamity happen to you? She was stricken with sorrow. Dharmaja replied, Draupadi, do not grieve. Look at this Himalayan range. How magnificent, how glorious, how beautiful, how sublime. It is so splendid a phenomenon that I love it without limit. It will not grant me anything, but it is my nature to love the beautiful, the sublime. So here, too, I reside with love. The embodiment of the sublime beauty is God. This is the meaning and significance of the love of God, of the love for God. God is the only entity that is worth loving. This is the lesson that the age-long search of our Indians, Bharatiyas, has revealed. This is why I am loving him. I will not wish for any favor from him. I will not pray for any boon. Let him keep me where he loves to keep me. The highest reward for my love is his love. Draupadi, my love is not an article in the market. Dharmaja understood that love is a divine quality and has to be treated so. He taught Draupadi that love is a spontaneous nature of those who are ever in the awareness of Atma.
All
Thank
what
you.
we discussed.
Auntie, what did you say?
All what we have discussed is coming here.
Yes. Auntie Basham, Mani Auntie, we can.
దీనికి భారతములోని ధర్మజుని ఆదర్శము చూడుడు.
For this, in the Mahabharata, look at the example of Dharmaja.
ఇతను భారతదేశ చక్రవర్తిగా ఉండి శత్రువుల చేత పరాజయమునంది రాజ్యమును కోల్పోయి.
So he was an emperor, and because of his enemies, he was defeated, and he lost his kingdom.
హిమాలయ ప్రాంతములందు ద్రౌపది సమేతముగా కొండ గుహలలో ఉండగా
he lived in the caves of mountains in the Himalayan region along with his wife Draupadi.
ఒకనాడు ద్రౌపది, నాథ, లోకమున గల ధర్మనిష్ఠాపరుల్లో అగ్రగణ్యులు మేము.
So Draupadi said one day to him, "Oh Lord, in this world, in people who practice dharma, you are the highest.
మీకిట్ట ఘోర విపత్తు ఎలా సంభవించును?
For this, why such a calamity, a scare has happened?"
అని దుఃఖించగా అందుకు ధర్మజుడు, ద్రౌపది దుఃఖించకు.
When she was saying this sorrowfully, Dharmaja said, "Draupadi, do not grieve.
ఈ హిమాలయ పర్వతములు చూడుము.
Watch this Himalayan range.
ఎంత ఉదాత్త వైభవముతో, ఎంత సౌందర్య మహత్వముతో విరాజిల్లుచున్నవో.
How great and beautiful they are effulgent in this.
Glory, their glory.
They're shining in their glorious way, in very great beauty.
వాని యందు నాకు అమిత ప్రీతి.
I have so much liking for these.
అవి నాకేమీ ప్రసాదించవు.
They do not give me anything.
కానీ ఉదాత్తతను, సౌందర్యమును ప్రేమించుట నాకు నైజము.
It is natural for me to love this greatness and also the beauty.
కావుననే నేను ప్రేమించి ఇచ్చట నివసించుచున్నాను.
Therefore, I am loving all this and I am living in this place.
ఆ సౌందర్య స్వరూపుడే పరమాత్ముడు.
That's the Lord whose beauty all this is, and that's the Supreme Lord.
కాన పరమాత్మని ప్రేమించుటలో పరమార్థమిదేనని అన్నాడు.
So he said, this is the way one loves the Supreme Lord. This is the meaning of that. This is the supreme inner significance.
ప్రేమార్హమగు వస్తువు పరమాత్ముడొక్కడే.
The one who is really deserving of love is God alone.
అన్న సత్యాన్ని భారతీయ పరమాత్మ ప్రబోధించును.
That truth has been taught by the Bharatiya supreme goal.
ఇదే మానవుని స్వభావం.
This is the real nature of human beings.
కావుననే నేను అతనిని ప్రేమించున్నది. కావుననే నేను అతనిని ప్రేమించున్నది. God, he loves God.
Okay.
Because of that, yeah.
Because of that, I am loving. He is being loved by me. Something like that.
నేను అతనిని ప్రేమించున్నది. I love God.
The I-ness loves that God, something like that. Because Preminchinadi is a third person. నేను ప్రేమించు
ఇదే నా మానవుని స్వభావము.
Oh, ప్రేమించున్నది. Oh, that is why I am loving him.
Yeah, yeah. ఇది మానవుని స్వభావము, కావుననే నేను అతనిని ప్రేమించును.
Okay,
Because of that I love
because
him.
of that, yes.
అతని వద్ద నేనేమియో కోరను.
I am not asking him for anything.
దేనిని ప్రార్థింపను.
I will not pray for
anything. అతనికి నన్నెచ్చట నుంచుట ప్రీతియో అచట నన్ను ఉంచనిమ్ము.
Wherever he would like to place me, I will love him to place me.
నా ప్రేమకు ప్రేమయే పరమార్థము.
For my love itself is the goal, supreme goal.
నా ప్రేమ వాణిజ్య వస్తువు కాదు ద్రౌపది.
My love is not for trading with anything.
వాణిజ్య వస్తువు కాదు,
business. I don't want to sell it for anything.
అని జవాబిచ్చెను ధర్మజుడు.
Thus he gave the reply.
ప్రేమ దివ్య వస్తువుని ధర్మజుడు గ్రహించెను.
Dharmaja recognized that love is a divine object.
ఆ ప్రేమ ఆత్మస్థాయి యందున్న సహజ లక్షణముని ద్రౌపదికి బోధించెను.
That love is the one, it's a natural tendency of the Atmic Atma, and its characteristic, natural characteristic. Thus he taught Draupadi. I don't know whether I did.
ఆ ప్రేమ ఆత్మస్థాయి యందున్న సహజ లక్షణం.
So this is the natural quality which is present in the Atman. Thus Dharmaja taught
Draupadi. That's it. So it is a Mahabharata.
Yes, Swami.
Reference to Dharmaja.
Yes, I don't know whether Sai Satish has to make some changes to the drama script, but but Swami is giving the example of Dharmaja, who understood what love is. Maybe this was after he got the lesson. Pretty wonderful, Sai Satish. But so,
Yes, sir.
yes. So Dharmaja understood, wherever the Lord places me, I will be there, enjoying God's glory around me, witnessing whatever.
Wherever I deserve to be placed, let him place me. He says, no?
Ataniki nannechata chuta preetiyo.
Adil adukku munne.
Achata nannu unchuna. Ange irukku aunty adu.
Ana premarhamagu vastu idu oru nimisham. Enga paatene అతనికి నన్నెచ్చట నుంచుట ప్రీతియో అచ్చట నన్ను ఉంచి నిమ్ము.
Yeah, so wherever he likes to place me, let him. I am happy. He's not even talking about deserve. Wherever he puts me, I will love. I will enjoy the place, that place. Whatever circumstances in which he places me, I will just enjoy. Yes, Sai Satish, please go ahead.
Sorry, this is like Marjara kind of devotion, right? Wherever the cat will put the kitten, just be there and keep like mewing and accept in total whatever is done.
That's the bhakti of a kitten.
Marjara nyayam.
It will just sit in one place and cry out for the mother. And wherever the mother puts it, it will just stay there and meow. With joy, actually. This is the kitten which mews and with joy.
Yes, sir.
నన్నెచ్చట నుంచుట ప్రీతియో Vani, wherever he likes me to be, he loves me to be.
So every circumstances in which God has placed is because he likes to place us there. So just enjoy.
Yeah, just enjoy.
Brother, one thing he is saying that because of why he's seeing the nature, the whole nature as Lord,
Yes.
and he's enjoying that beautiful. So everything he can enjoy. So let him place wherever I can enjoy, kind of, he's saying. Isn't it like that?
Yes, I remember, maybe I will, there was a professor from British Columbia, S.N. Shankar. He had come and given a talk, I don't know, about 20 years ago, I guess, or 25 years ago. Oh, nearly 30 years ago. Sorry, time is flying. So he gave a talk in which he said, because there, Nova Scotia, you get always, Nova Scotia, they always get a lot of snow, always there's some storm, ice storm. It's just unbearable, winter. So he said always he hated winter. But he was a devotee of Swami and he used to volunteer at a blind school, residential blind school. So he said one winter it had snowed very heavily. He was cursing and shoveling the snow, and he said, just too much. Why this thing should fall, this white stuff, and it's just making our life miserable. All that he did, and he got into the car and he drove to the blind school because he had to go and read stories for blind children there. So he said when he went and parked, he saw one little blind girl. She was twirling and twirling in the snow which had fallen. So he went to her and said, little girl, why are you twirling? Why? He said, oh, I feel so beautiful. And she was dancing and, feeling the snow. Then he said he looked around and he saw the white snow and it looked so beautiful. Then he realized that that girl is unable to see the beauty he's seeing. He can feel the snow, he can do everything, and he also can see the beauty of the snow. But he said, but he was unable to be happy looking at the snow and feeling that way. So he said that day, that little girl taught him that you should enjoy where you are. He said after that, whenever there was a snowstorm, he would come up and sing some bhajan or some song, and he will shovel for about 10 minutes. And then he'll remembering this girl and go back inside, maybe have a coffee to warm him up, and then he'll come back and he will also try to twirl like the girl, enjoy the snow and shoveling the snow. So actually sometimes in different situations is our own state of mind and our perception makes something so miserable. So that has stood, because of this story which I heard 30 years ago, I've survived in Canada and I still don't hate the place. So it's like Dharmaja or something like that. Thank you. Sorry for it was a story I think all of us can relate to it. Sai Ram Brother.
Yeah, that's what we say, live in the moment. No, we don't know when that moment is going to come back again. Every minute you have to enjoy it. Thank you, Saira.
Sai Ram Brother, thank you. Anyone else? Yes, please, Sister Shiva.
I just want to share this moment. And you're so right that sometimes you learn, if you open your eyes to learn from people, from nature around you. Just it reminds me quickly, the other day when we had that, rain was pouring in July. My basement was flooded, like it was river until my ankle.
So what were your thoughts, sister?
I'm coming to that. So I was in the meeting. My daughter called me, Mom, come to the basement. And you know what they were doing? My husband and kids, they were dancing. And I'm like, I was so furious. Like, how could you dance? Like, look at the water, everything destroyed. How could you dance? My husband said, Shivani, there were situations because he's from Jamaica. He has seen hurricane there where, people have lost their roofs and how he said, this is nothing. So enjoy. And then of course, they pulled me and we started dancing. We have a video. But first time I was like, how could you? He said, we can't do anything. This is nothing. So it's better to dance in the water. We never had so much water in the basement. So let's dance. So I'm just saying, sometimes you learn from people and say, oh my God, I sounds like I read and all of those things. And look how they're enjoying the water until the ankle. And they're saying, okay, let's, and in half an hour, it just disappeared. I mean, a lot of damage. But he said the worst thing is people didn't have roof. So this is nothing. So it's good to learn from people around you. Sairam.
Sairam, sister. Sairam. Anyone else want to share their flood stories? See, sisters, your name is Shivani. You know, Shiva himself is always, you know, is torrential water, Ganges flowing from his.
But it was something really, it's just, I'm still holding, and every moment when I'm thinking of that, I said something to learn. Take it as it comes. Enjoy. You know, it's a passing cloud, whatever it is.
Yes, Brother Dasan.
So, Sairam, brother, I didn't understand the one line. It doesn't give you anything that somewhere it will not grant me anything. That part I didn't understand.
Oh, yeah.
The
Brother, I
second,
think we'll park it because it's 4:32. Once
yeah,
we start discussing, brother,
yeah, okay, Sairam.
this class is not going to grant you the discussion.
I agree.
Next session, we will start with this.
4:32.
Yes, okay, brother. Sairam. We'll close with Samastaloka. Sairam. Om Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sairam, everyone.
Sairam.
Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam.